I'm gonna
We're
make
selling snake oil. We're selling snake oil for
we're
sure. No,
selling.
we're not. We're
Okay,
not
y'all,
selling snake oil.
don't
This is
drink the
just
Kool-Aid.
this is a tried and true method from the Buddhist tradition about how we can work with our own mind in the moment to bring about a change. Um, to bring about a change. That's really all it is. And so when we think about antidote, just think about how medicine is given, right? Medicine is given typically third party. We go to a doctor. The doctor decides what our problem is. Then he gives us a recommended dosage and medicine. And the good news is about the antidote that we'll be presenting is that you can make the decision for which antidote works best for you. And I'll give you a plethora of choices, tons of choices and ways. So you won't have to be stuck with just regular old amoxicillin. You'll have lots of choices, lots of choices. So I'm really excited about it. I'm looking forward to getting to present this topic. And one of the things that I really love about Michelle, and this is, she's always such a surprise to me every time. I think that I have her pinned down like I know her, and then she pivots and shows me another side, another beautiful side. And one of them is that I never really know that she was so into the science of the mind, right? That for me is like it's a new thing that I'm learning about my sister. And then I was speaking with our guru, Manorma, yesterday, and I was talking to her about this, how she's so interested in the science of the mind, and I'm so interested in like practical ways to work with our mind. And so I think this is where one of the other ways that Michelle and we dovetail together so well is that even though I know she's practical and she knows all these practical ways, I don't care about science. And I'm a scientist. I'm a geologist. I'm like, I have a degree in geology. I could care less about science, right? I just want to know the best way to make cornbread. That's really what I want to know. So that's another way that we come together in a way that dovetails really well. And I'm excited to get to spend some time with you soon. So yeah, that's all I
Me
have. I'm,
too.
I'm
So
happy
that'll be the 1st of March probably on that one, right?
to.
And then apply the antidote, and
Mhm.
then you'll have another one. The date will set solid,
Many
but
topics.
many
Yes, many
topics. Yeah.
practical topics. Yeah, yes. So
Um,
that would just be our teaser, and then that'll make you want more.
Perfect.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
Leave you
And
wanting more.
I want more of you all the time, Gretchen. Always. Well, welcome to our guest here today too. And then we've had people staying with us throughout. So I'm just really glad that y'all are here. And if you find any kind of value in the information, please share it with other people who might benefit actually from this platform. Um, Next week, we'll be working with the Yoga Sutras and how does that correlate with your emotional well-being. And I'm very, very excited about that. Just remember that none of this is therapy. Like, I'm not a therapist, right? But it can be with these tools. And if you are getting therapy, it could be quite powerful to apply these tools with whatever therapy that you're getting that's appropriate. But settle in, and I'm going to do one check with Nikki. Nikki, I just want to make sure you can hear me and you're here.
I can hear you.
Hi, love.
I'm
Okay,
here.
good to see you. Okay, we're going to need our props, and everybody mute yourselves, and here we go. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I didn't sleep a wink last night because I get so excited about this material. Today's topic is exploring happiness beyond the external, and that is huge. Um, you know, I feel like society is pushing us to choose this mythical notion of long lasting, extraordinary happiness. And especially when we see it on social media everywhere, everybody's happy. But that's not the case. Attaining happiness is at the mercy always of the outside elements. And there's sometimes that we just don't have control over everything that's going to happen to us. So hopefully after the presentation, you'll you'll see that the joy and or misery is within you, and that you have options on how we perceive events that are happening, maybe, or flipping the script just a little bit, so we can get out of maybe a negative mindset. That you'll see that yeah, it's all in the perception, and we have around any event, and our thoughts generate how we feel. So chasing happiness can actually create misery. If you think that you're supposed to be happy, and oh, I'm not happy in this moment, so you're just keep chasing this idea of what happiness is, that it eludes us. It's always a moving target, and we don't get to have that long before another event might happen. So we think sometimes that, if we have more money in the bank, if we had that one person to love, if we had that car, if we had this one thing, that's all that we ever need. An external thing, that's all we ever need to complete ourselves. And yes, it's wonderful to have external, but there's really, you have to be okay within yourself, because also when you are working from a whole place within yourself, you have more to give. More of a gift is in there for you to be able to give to others. You're bringing something to the table. So we find out that when we get that thing, it makes us tremendously happy at first. And then after some time, and this is with almost everything, the ecstatic feeling goes away. The honeymoon period of the car. What is going on with my hair? Sorry, there's a sprig hanging there. Anyway, so there's, it's almost like a honeymoon period. And then we have something new. There's another desire that pops in its place. And the real goal, I think, and these are all my opinions, is to have to want what we have. Learning to want what we have, and having an appreciation in the moment for what we actually have, can really start to open up some inner peace within us. The Buddha said that desires and aversions can lead to pain, either one, wanting to stay away from pain and wanting all happiness. Both of those wants and chasing those things can lead to unhappiness. And also Sri Swami Satchidananda stated that the greatest victory you can win is the victory over your own mind. And as you think, so you'll become. Think well, and you'll be well. Think ill, and you'll be ill. So along with all the topics that we presented all the way up till now, this is all hand in hand. It all relates to each other. But today's topic specifically is going to talk about a study called the Hedonic Treadmill. And that is the Oxford Dictionary is hedonism. It's an ethical theory that pleasure in the sense of satisfaction and desires. It is the highest good and proper aim of human life. There are many different forms of pleasure and varying intensities. So when we talk about the hedonic treadmill, it's a concept in psychology suggesting that people tend to return to a stable level of happiness despite significant positive or negative life changes. This idea, rooted in research by psychologists such as Philip Brickman and Donald Campbell, demonstrates that while events like winning the lottery, this is super interesting, winning the lottery or experiencing a setback may temporarily elevate or lower our happiness, but individuals typically adapt over time and they revert to a baseline level of happiness. So as we talk about this a little bit, I'm inviting you to kind of, start to reflect upon your own life and thinking about, I wanted that car. And then, how long was it before you stopped looking back when you were leaving the parking? After you parked it and walking away, right? And you just walked in and it wasn't that big. So the reason that what they have concluded in the studies is that this phenomenon occurs because, one, adaptation. Humans are incredibly adaptable. We quickly get used to new circumstances, whether they are good or bad. Two is comparison. We often compare ourselves to others or to a previous state. That's important. We compare ourselves to others or we compare our lives to a previous state of happiness. So that influences how we perceive our current happiness. Social media is, to me, is a record for me. It plays a significant role in comparing ourselves to others, and this is extremely bad for the younger generations. And one of the reasons I feel so compelled to do this is because after we had the COVID shutdown, I had different generations of children. I had some that were already off, graduated college or about to graduate college. And then I had one just entering college. And I imagine the same with high school students or in elementary, but there was a shutdown and it was isolation. And this has, I feel, in turn created a mental health crisis just across the board of all the fallout that has happened from the shutdown and the isolation. I don't feel like the world has been the same since. And I don't think people treat each other the way that they did before this. It's just different, in my opinion. So the third thing is why this phenomenon occurs about returning to our baseline is that once a goal is achieved, new desires emerge and they perpetuate a cycle of striving without lasting fulfillment. And that's the key, is that there's a lasting fulfillment. So when we talk about the hedonic treadmill and how it relates to our constant striving for happiness, we're going to talk about some real life examples. And the study that was done by Brickman, Coates, and Jana Bowman, where it studied 3 categories of people. That one of them was lottery winners. The second was a paralyzed accident victims. And then they had a control, the third group was a control group. The winners of the lottery were ecstatic at first, as you can imagine. But it typically takes somewhere around 4 months or so, and then this change starts occurring. But by the time a year passed, they returned to their original state of happiness. So just think about that for a minute. What do you mean, my original state of happiness? But if you think about it, like, where do you spend the majority of your time, on the seesaw? Like, are you generally the glass is half empty or glass is half full? But that's where they ended up after a year in the study. That it was, there was a study not in their study, but a different study that was done. Who is this by? I'm sorry, excuse me one sec. It was National Endowment for Financial Education that found that this is incredible, 70% of lottery winners end up bankrupt within a few years. And that study was done in 2023. And Dr. Albers from the Cleveland Clinic said that happiness is not always the case. People believe that winning the lottery is an instant ticket to happiness. Surprisingly, research indicates that lottery winners have the same level of happiness before and after they win the lottery. So the paralyzed accident victims were extremely unhappy. And I remember seeing this in the hospital when I worked in the intensive care at Memorial Medical Center back in the day. And we would have accident victims that would come in and then they would, regain consciousness and whatnot. But sometimes they were completely paralyzed. And there were a few people that were just extremely positive. You would think that you would be angry, but they were positive. And I always thought, I was so young at the time, but it was just interesting to see that they found happiness, even though their entire life had changed in a moment. But these paralyzed accident victims, they stabilize to their original states of being or near their original states of being at a year point as well. So the key points is in happiness. So in something that negative that happens, there is an increase in a happiness. And same thing if something really positive happens, there's an increase in happiness. So when there's an immediate unhappiness for something that has happened, they, the victims, they lost their independence. They were paralyzed. They realized that their life was going to change and it was going to just be very different. But, and there's psychological trauma associated with the injury. But again, they were able to get to their baseline, whatever that was in the beginning. Adaptation and return to baseline studies have shown that with time and proper support, and that's important, is that there's proper support for whatever is happening, that many paralyzed individuals can adapt to the new situation and gradually return to their life satisfaction as they were before the accident. Factors influencing adaptation, individual resilience. And we have talked about resilience. We had an entire workshop about that, and coping mechanisms. Having all of these tools in your tool belt will maybe be helpful in getting back to being in life, having social support. Access to rehabilitation services play a major role in how well somebody does, or just in therapy in general, how well is somebody doing. But basically, external happiness is short-lived. And so that we've heard, I don't know if you've heard the example, but this is for me often, is about craving a candy bar. Like, I just want this piece of candy, and I want it, and I can't think about anything else. And then I get the candy bar, I eat it, it satisfies all the cravings that I had in that moment. And then I'm fine for a little while, and then something else. I want something else. And this goes on throughout my day. I can't even tell you how many times I want this, and I've got to have this, and this is what's going to make me happy in the moment. But that's, most of us have something like that going on. So I'm going to ask you some questions to write down or ponder throughout this workshop, and that when we get to the question and answer, we might want to discuss or not. You don't have to. But what external events or achievements do you believe will make you happy? And how long do you think that happiness will last? And again, this is personal journaling. You don't have to share it, but taking a moment for that. And then when can you start being happy? Like, in this moment, when can you start being happy? If we think about all the things that we need before we can allow ourselves to be happy. And what limitations, the last question for this pondering on, and I'll ask you again at the end, but what limitations do you surround your happiness with? What limitations do you surround your happiness with? Put a pin in that. So the hedonic treadmill will make sense in this yoga workshop, because we'll be exploring happiness beyond the external. So this workshop, I feel, can show emotional wellness and sustainable happiness arise from our internal practices rather than external circumstances. So being on your yoga mat, moving into the poses, being present in the moment in that particular pose, and understand what you're looking for, and just maybe feeling that feeling, or just what is in the way of feeling that. And why this is going to be effective for emotional wellness is that, one, it's like a muscle. We'll start to cultivate the muscle of awareness. This will help us start to cultivate and recognize the patterns of striving and dissatisfaction. This also will help us with empowerment. that it encourages self-generated happiness through mindfulness, movement, and intentional gratitude. So,
Michelle, Jacqueline asks, would you be willing to repeat the questions, please, in the chat?
yes,
I'm sorry,
yes,
good morning.
I will jump back to that. Is the first one was, what external events or achievements do you believe will make you happy, and how long do you think that happiness will last? Give me a thumbs up and I'll go to the second one when you're ready. Okay, the second one is, when can you start being happy? And the third one, what limitations do you surround your happiness with? We all have limitations. We all have, it has to fit in here and here. And if it's not that quite there, I'm not happy. Or maybe I talk about myself. Maybe so. Don't take it personal. This is about me. So there is a neuroscience connection to all of this too. Yoga and meditation enhance our neuroplasticity, which we talked about in past workshops. And it helps to shift our default thought patterns and break this hedonic cycle. So, as with everything, it's just that when we cultivate this awareness, and my awareness right now, exercise that I'm working on is be here now, like right now, like, oh my gosh, just the trees, the wind, the weather, the sunset, whatever it is, just being there in the moment. And it lasts for a second and then all the thoughts come back in, but I'm building this little muscle around that, just being here now. And when we move into our yoga practice, that's really what I'm going to invite you to do, is like, can you find those moments where you can just be in the pose and feel what you feel and just really tap in. But it is a muscle that we have to work and do often, so that it won't all happen at first. But by integrating the concept of the hedonic treadmill into this workshop, you may learn to cultivate emotional wellness by focusing on internal growth rather than external circumstances. So I'd like to start to move into pranayama techniques now and start to move toward the mat. But before we do that, props that we're going to need a big bolster, so you can use a big pillow if you're working at home, a yoga strap, but you can also use a belt or a tie that you have at home. You may or may not need blocks, but you can figure that out, being in your home practice. And chairs are useful if you have limitations. This is going to be more of a floor-based practice and restorative-based practice, so there won't be a lot of up and downs, and I won't do sun salutations like I got you on last time. So I'm going to have you go ahead and go get your seat. I'm going to change our camera lens, and then we will get started with our pranayama. Okay? So take a moment, get yourself settled.
So it won't bother you if we turn our camera off, right? For this
No,
part?
feel free to do
Okay.
that. No,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And if you have any questions about the practice, that's what our Q&A is afterwards, for anything that you need. So when I take my seat, I like to elevate my hips higher than my knees. So remember to sit up on your little perch, whatever that might be. I'm using blankets today, and I'm using 2 blankets for myself because of my general hip tightness. I want to make sure that you are able to see now. Changing the camera view. Perfect. Gretchen, just chime in if anything needs to be changed. But and these breaths we've done before, they're not new breaths today, but we're really practicing this breathing technique so that they are in your back pocket, that you get them. So when I sit, if you're able to cross your legs, I'm going to ask for you to cross them a little bit wider than normal, so you have maybe one heel in front of the other, line up. and then take pressure off of your knees. I'm going to reach back, grab my inner thighs, roll the flesh back, and reset my seat. Do that on both sides. And so then I feel the mobility in the hip joints. Then as I press my seat down, allow the knees to get as close to the floor or support them as you need. Sit back nice and even, nice and easy. We'll bring our shoulders over the hips. Bring your chins parallel with the floor. Take your entire throat and ears back. Now pressing down through your seat, extending up through the crown of the head, creating length in the spine, creating spaciousness inside of you. So taking a moment as you take your seat, begin to internally scan inside. Start to bring all of your awareness to your sit bones and make sure that you actually feel pressure on both sides and that your foundation is stable. As you feel the pressure on each side and it feels balanced, then begin to press yourself up and extending up through the crown of the head. Bring your awareness as you scan the body from the ground up and notice if you're gripping tightness in your inner thighs, and allow your inner thighs to soften and relax. As you allow the inner thighs to soften and relax, press down through your seat again to extend up through the spine. Then bringing your awareness as you stay inside and you're just checking in on any area that feels a little uncomfortable, a little bit of struggle. Notice if your bottoms are clenching and allow yourself to soften your muscles. Softening the muscles and imagine yourself sitting on your bones. As you are allowed to sit on your bones, begin to stack our bones so that we can have spaciousness inside. As you allow the inner thighs to soften, you allow the buttocks to soften. You feel the bones pressing down, extending up through the crown of the head. Instead of pushing your low ribs out, pull your low ribs back, and I'll say restrain your low ribs. As you pull the low ribs back ever so slightly, then go back in and check and see if did that create more space for you. And as you allow yourself to feel the breath moving in and exhaling out, noticing any areas of tension or stress, you start to travel up into the shoulders, bringing the shoulders back ever so slightly, stacking over the hips. Relax the shoulders away from your ears. And as you relax the shoulders away from your ears, just feel them gently softening. As you feel the shoulders softening, allow your hands to rest on your thighs or your knees, however that feels comfortable for you. Soften through the shoulders, soften through the throat. Bring your chins parallel with the floor. As you bring your chin parallel with the floor, imagine taking your entire throat and ears and move back. As you press down again through the same sit bones, extending up through the crown of the head like a rope is pulling the crown of your head up, see if that's created any more space internally. What do I mean by space? Can you feel a full breath, the ability of a full breath to move in? Can you feel yourself exhaling out without a lot of tension, without a lot of stress, without a lot of force? Just checking in on your own breath as you inhale and as you exhale. Allow your eyes to soften in the back of your head. You can keep your eyes slightly open. It's up to you, whatever feels best for you in this practice. If I could see myself from the side, I would be stacking my ears over my shoulders stacking over the hips. I would feel, as I press down, very solid and secure, extending through the crown of the head, and now spaciousness inside. Bringing all awareness into your breath. We'll begin to move the breath, inhaling and exhaling through the nostrils, only through the nose. Take a deep inhale through the nostrils, and then exhale softly through the nostrils, just exhaling out, and see if it's an open airway for you today. Inhaling softly, but a full deep inhale. Exhaling softly through the nostrils. As you inhale through your nostrils, fill the full air as it enters in, and imagine that the breath is moving all the way down to the bottom of the lungs, filling every space. And as you exhaling, imagine it coming from the bottom, working its way up, and exhaling out through the nostrils, and feel the warmth of the air as it exhales. The difference in temperature as you inhale through the nostrils, cool air coming in, allowing it to move through all the spaces, thinking about bringing resilience in, bringing in health. And as you exhale out, exhaling it all out through your nostrils, but from the bottom all the way up and out. Inhale, making your exhalation a bit longer than your inhale. See if you can extend the time of your exhales. After your next exhalation through the nose, the next inhalation through the nose, feel only the belly rise, the belly rise, the belly rise without any of the other body moving. And then exhale softly and allow the navel to move toward the spine. Exhaling, exhaling, and empty everything out without struggle. Next inhalation through the nostrils, feel the belly rising. Feel the fullness in the belly and let it move up into your rib cage in the front and the side ribs and feel the ribs expanding fully. Hold it as you exhale from your side ribs into your front ribs, into your abdomen. Exhale and empty everything out. The next inhalation through the nose, feel the belly rise. Feel your rib cage expand in the front, sides, and now even in the back side of the body, feel the rib cage expanding in fullness without anxiety. Hold it there. And as you exhale in a very soft way, exhaling from the belly, ribs, exhale, empty it all out. Next inhalation through the nostrils, feel the belly rising. Feel the ribcage expanding in all directions, especially through your back body, and allow the breath to float up into the chest, but with light and full in ease. And as you exhale, chest, ribs, belly, empty the entire vessel out. Next inhalation through the nostrils, feel the belly rising. Feel the ribcage expanding. Feel the chest lifting in the fullness, but with ease. Exhaling, chest, ribs, belly. Allow yourself to just take a few breaths here, inhaling and exhaling. So yogic 3-part breathing, feeling how you may have changed how you felt when you started, when we signed in, and how you feel at this moment, a little more spacious maybe, a little more calm. Alternate nostril breathing, keeping the same type of seat, balancing the energy, the right and left energy, bringing it into a balanced state. Allow your left hand to rest onto the left leg. You can connect the thumb to any of the fingers. The right hand, Vishnu Mudra, the first 2 fingers fold back. The thumb is for the right nostril, ring finger for the left nostril. As we sit up tall, take a deep inhale through both nostrils. With your thumb, occlude the right nostril, exhale through your left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale left side, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Close left, open right, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Close right, exhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Close left, exhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Close right, exhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Close left, exhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Close right, exhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale left. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Close both and hold. Release your right hand down and just simply breathe. Inhaling and exhaling. Just allow yourself to breathe and feel what you feel. It doesn't have to be peaceful. It doesn't, but what is it? What is your state of being at this moment? Whatever it is, just allow it to be there. Inhaling and exhaling as you feel the breath moving in and exhaling out. Our practice today will have an intention on gratitude and reframing our desires. So think about 3 things that you are grateful for today. Identify non-material aspects of your life that bring us sustained joy. Bring those into our hearts. Allow yourself to breathe that in and exhale it out. Connecting with your baseline of what you feel, and just let everything be as exactly as it is today. We'll bring our hands into the heart center and we'll start our class with 1 Om together. Have our opening invocation that we've been practicing on. So after your exhale, take a deep inhale to begin. The invocation, you can repeat after me. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. And we'll do it twice together. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. One more time. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. And that's asking that all beings everywhere are happy and free, and that our thoughts, words, and actions will contribute to their happiness in some way. As you take a moment, bow to your heart center, and whatever it is that you need from this practice, bring that into your heart and minds now. As you release your hands onto your thighs, you can lift your chin, and please feel free to keep your eyes closed during this session, whatever you need to do in this practice, but fill all the space inside as you press through your seat, reaching your arms out and feel your entire body stretching as you press through the seat. Inhale. As you exhale, exhaling out, and imagine the breath exhaling out through the fingertips, easily exhaling and letting it all out and emptying it. As you press down through your seat, sweeping the arms up a little bit more and coming alive in the hands and the fingertips, feel yourself reaching up. And as you exhale, exhale slowly out and down. And just feel emptying the entire vessel. One more time, just like that. Make this one the best one. As you feel yourself, fill the space in between your rib cage, stretching and reaching and opening up. And then slowly exhaling out and down. We'll leave our left hand on the floor alongside of our hip, or using blocks if you need to. I'll use a block as an example. Inhale the right arm up alongside of your ear. You have the palm facing in, ankle pinky in. Reach up through the right fingertips by pushing down through your seat. As you exhale, we'll lean over to your left side. Keep your arm in line with your ear. You don't want to see your arm, but start leaning over and then push your right knee out and away so that the right sit bone doesn't lift. Really reach out through the right fingertips. Push your right knee out and away. Feel the seat nice and stable. If you want to crawl your left hand a little bit further out, feel free to do that, but keep the seat down. Feel yourself reaching, but suck some air in, get some breath into the space. Wherever you are, feel the restriction, feel the spaciousness, whatever it's bringing for you today, and then press down through everything that you have. Right hand inhales up, exhale, the right hand goes down to the floor or a block alongside of the right hip. Inhaling the left arm up alongside of the ear. Palm face in, ankle pinky in. Slide the shoulder away from the ear, keeping the space you have as you exhale, going over to your right side. As you go over to your right side, press your left knee out and away. Feel your sit bone firmly anchored down. You don't want to see the arm. Take the arm back behind the ear. And as you go over to the side, really feel yourself reaching, pushing your left knee out and away as you reach out through the fingertips, soften through your eyes, and just notice what you feel on the right side compared to the left side. Are you still grounded in your seat? Push, reach, stretch, breathe. Anything you can do in this pose. And then inhaling the left arm up, exhaling the left hand down to the floor. A spinal twist. Right hand goes to your left leg. The left hand goes back behind you, either on a block or teacup fingers onto the floor behind you so that I don't lose the lift that I've created. Sit bones nice and even. As you press down through your seat, inhale to create the length in the spine. Keeping the length you've created as you exhale, start from the low belly, midsection, upper chest, twisting to the left. As you twist to the left side, keep pushing your right knee out and away. Every inhale, take a deep inhale and get tall. Every exhale, take the twist a little bit deeper. And as you exhale, gaze out over your left shoulder. I'm looking forward, but you're looking over your own left shoulder. As you push through your seat, feel the crown of your head lifting and extending. As you stay in this twist, see if there's any more space by breathing into it. Every inhale, get a little bit taller. Every exhale, take the twist a little bit deeper and just think about creating some spinal prana flow, energy moving in the spaces that you're creating. And then inhale, look forward. As you exhale, feel yourself release and fresh blood flow coming back in. Left hand goes to your right leg. Right hand goes back behind you, fingertips or a block, but make sure that you're not leaning back, but you keep the shoulders over the hips. As you press down through your seat, feel yourself extending up through the spine, creating length. As you exhale, from your low belly, midsection, upper chest, gazing out over your right shoulder. Bring your chin as close to your own right shoulder as you can. Even with your eyes, gaze a little bit further over your right shoulder. See, take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, take the twist a little deeper if it allows, but the left sit bone is staying anchored. So the hips are stable, the twist is in the spine, from the base of the spine all the way through. Then one more, as you get more length, take the twist a little bit deeper, and imagine bringing something out, leaving something behind. Old habits, whatever it may be that you want to leave behind, squeeze it out here. Then inhale, look forward with an open chest. As you exhale, releasing that, and the blood flows back in. And just take a moment to feel that blood flow. Let's see, hip forward fold. So here we fold forward. Again, the seat hasn't moved. Feeling the sit bones firmly pressing down. Walking your hands out if it allows, but keep your seat down. If you have any pressure in your knees, stay where you are, wherever that may be for you. If you can fold all the way down, not a problem, let yourself. And just taking a moment to feel yourself breathing in and exhaling out. Just allowing the space behind your forehead to soften and relax and release. You may want to shake your head yes. You might want to shake your head no. You may want to try to flub your lips to release the facial tension muscles, whatever. And then pushing down through your hands, lift your head and chest. And as you exhale, very, very slowly, coming back in, shoulders back over your hips. Now take a look down at your legs and notice which leg is in front or on top. We will lean back and we're going to switch the legs out. So as I lean back, I'll extend the legs out. And as I extend the legs out, then I will bring the cross in and I will go opposite. Once you come in opposite, it may take a second, right? It doesn't feel natural. Okay, then I have to reset the seat so there's no pressure on the knees. Remember, inner thighs back and apart, sit bones down, same thing, everything else applies. Left hand on the floor alongside of the hip. We're going to do another side stretch, but we're going to take it a little bit further. And like I said, try not to have to look at the camera, but see if you can just feel and do the move. As you're pressing through your seat, inhaling the right arm up alongside of your ear, palm face in, angle pinky in. Press it down, inhale, reach and stretch. Keep the side body stretched. As you exhale, leaning over to your left side, keep your hands in line with your own left hip. You can move it a little further away. You can bend your elbow in. Push your right knee out and away. Reach out through the fingertips. Take your chin up out of the chest. As you have your chin out of the chest, you may want to turn and look at your bottom hand. Take your right shoulder back a little bit more as you look at the bottom hand. Keep sliding shoulders away from the ears. Be sure your seat is pressing down. Feel yourself getting that deep stretch, and imagine stretching the spaces between the ribs so that the lungs can be open and free. Don't change anything else. Just turn your face and look at the top arm. Can you look at your fingertips, your elbow? Reach and stretch it out. Notice where you feel this in your physical body. Push it down through your seat. Inhaling, the right arm comes up. Exhale, the right hand goes down to the floor. Inhaling, the left arm up alongside of the ear. Palm face in, ankle pinky in. You're going over to the right side. So either crawl your hand away, whatever you need to do to have a good foundation with the hand. Reach your left fingertips. Feel a straight line of energy from your left knee, through the ribs, through the fingertips. You don't want to see your arm. Take the arm back behind your ear. Take your chin up out of the chest. Slide the shoulders away from your ears and just simply breathe here. See if you can start to notice the difference between the right side and the left side. Is one side tighter than the other? If so, where? Where in my body is a little bit tighter without making meaning? Just notice what is happening here. As you continue to take your left shoulder back, turn your face and look at your right hand on the floor. So left shoulder back, looking at your right hand. Limitations. What limitations are you feeling here that you didn't feel on the other side? Don't change anything else. Just take your face and turn it and look at the top arm. Shoulders are away from the ears. What do you feel now? Where do you feel it? How is it compared to the other? Where just breathing in, exhale out, make space between the rib cage, push down through everything that you have, and inhaling, the left arm comes back up. Exhale, the left hand to the floor. Seated forward fold here. Walking the hands out. We go back and do a twist a little bit later. So walking your hands out as you push the floor away, head of the arm bones in. See if you can bow your head and let your ears line up with your arms. So just allow yourself to be here for a moment. Can you imagine that your seat is firmly anchored, that you're firmly connected to your seat? Foundation is steady, which allows you to have some space behind your forehead, soft. Let go and breathe into that. Inhaling and exhaling, noticing the difference in one side to the other. As you press through your hands, lift your head and chest. As we exhale, coming back nice and easy. We lean back, bring our knees in, and extending the legs out. Now, we'll be coming off of our support. We'll need our strap here. So I'll set my blankets off to the side. And if you can grab a strap, let me grab a little drink of water. Allow yourself to lay down onto the mat. And again, I'll try to talk it out so that you don't have to look. And I'll send you a video so you can go back and do the practice if you feel like you missed anything. But for right now, just allow yourself to take the practice as it is. As you lay on your back, bending your knees, have your feet hip bone distance apart. Allow the shoulders to relax away from your ears. Taking your right knee up into your chest, keeping the left foot on the floor. Can you notice how level your hips are? Can you feel when you bring the right knee up into your chest that the right hip tends to lift up a little bit? See if you can keep your right knee in, but shift the right hip back down just a little bit, bringing both hands on the shin or wherever you can hold on to, and just see, how does that feel today? How does that feel on the muscles in the front of your hip? And just allow yourself to breathe into that, inhaling and exhaling. Still feeling the left foot pressing into the floor, keeping your hips level. I'll grab my strap, and I always advise everybody to grab your strap at the buckle if you have any metal buckles in one hand. So then as you grab the strap, I will place that onto the ball of my right foot. I'll start to straighten my right leg out. Now, don't feel like it has to go straight up to the ceiling. Just see if you can just push the right leg out, straight and long. Then with the right arm, see if you can extend the right arm straight and strong. Now, once you get it onto the balls of the feet, the joints of the toes, the ball of the foot, start to push out and fan your toes. As you push out and fan your toes, imagine drawing your femur bone into the socket. As you draw the femur bone into the socket, there's a push-pull. And as you do this push-pull, can you allow yourself to shift your hips a little bit to side and notice how you can get mobility from this? As you get your hips back level where they feel level to you, keep pushing out, but draw the head of your arm bone in so now your shoulder's on the floor. So anywhere you can go with this where the leg is maybe 90 degrees, but it doesn't have to be. Maybe your flexibility is way up here, but holding on to your strap, let's give it a try and see what happens with the left leg. Is it available to extend the left leg out? So I lift the ball of the left foot and I start to push the heel out, sliding it on the mat. As I slide it onto the mat, I aim for a straight leg. I want to push my calf muscle down. I want to be active in my left toes and then activate the right leg too. Imagine both finger bones coming into the socket as you extend the leg. I feel my right shoulder wants to creep up by my ear. So I'm going to reach up, grab the straps so where I can have this push-pull action. The head of my arm bone's in, the femur bone in, and I feel this stretch on the back of my legs. So all you have to do right now is allow yourself to feel a stretch on the back side of your right leg. Not excruciating, but just allow yourself to go to a place where you feel sensation and breathe into that sensation. Allow the breath to work with you. As you inhale and exhale, imagine guiding the breath into that space. When you exhale, imagine any tightness or tension leaving. And if it doesn't exhale out, give yourself more space in your strap so that your breath is not labored. Allow yourself to breathe in and exhale out, but feeling yourself getting sufficient stretching in the back of your right leg. Inhaling and exhaling. Now, as you get inhale and exhale, your right toes are, allow those to turn out to the right. So your right heel turns in toward the middle of the body, the toes turn out, and then back forward. Heel turns in, toes turn out, and forward. Keeping the tension in the strap, and imagine that your femur bone, your right femur bone is pivoting in a socket. So you have a ball and socket, and the leg is pivoting in the socket as you turn your toes in and out. In and out. Once you get that you feel like you've lubricated up the right hip joint, take a deep inhale, extend your left arm out to the side, shoulder height with your palm down. Taking a deep inhale, turn your right toes out. As you exhale, open out your right leg, but be very careful and make sure that there's a push-pull and only go as far as you need to go. But really anchor through your left thigh, your left calf, your left heel, spread your left toes, keep turning your right toes down as you come over to the side. When you feel a stretch, I can have my right elbow down or just so I don't go too far, breathe into this, inhaling and exhaling. So getting a nice deep stretch, not too far, but make sure that your breath is not labored. By pushing through your left hand and your left heel, inhale, hoist your right leg back up to the center, bend your right knee, take the strap off of your right foot, extend your right arm out to the side, shoulder height, palm down. Your right knee is still bent, your left leg is straight. Take your left hand onto the outer right thigh. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, taking the right knee over to your left side, allow yourself to roll over onto your left hip, but keep your right shoulder down. As you roll over to the left hip, wherever you can go, just stay there and be sure that your foundation is there, that the right shoulder blade anchored to the floor. If this is all great for you and you're doing fine, if you wanted to go a little further, I would reach my left hand out, grab onto the outside of my right foot. I would fan my right toes, push the heel out and away, push, pull, just like I did with the strap, and allow the right leg to go over to the side as long as my right shoulder stayed down and I have breath, inhaling and exhaling. There's a lot more we could do with the alignment, but right now, just feeling what you feel in this moment. If you've gone too far, it's okay to have the knee bent. Be where you need to be today. Meet yourself here today. When you're ready, if you extended the leg, bend your right knee back in, press through your right hand, inhale, bring the knee and head back to the center, reach up there, grab onto your right shin, give it a good squeeze in. If it's available, extend your right leg up to the sky. It doesn't have to be over your face. It could be out. With your hands wrapped around your right thigh, see if you can slide up to the highest point on your leg.
Then lift up, grab a higher point on the leg, point your toes, and see if you can bring your shoulders back down. Left leg is still very active. You're breathing. I notice my right hip likes to hike up. So these are things I just have to notice in the moment, and it's the practice. I work on that. Then I'm going to reach up. Let's all kiss our knees or our shins or our toes, wherever you can kiss. Get up there and get a little compression on the thyroid. Yeah, that's going to help the metabolism. After the practice, inhale, and as you exhale, release it down. I like to bend my right knee and give my knee a kiss. As you can see, I have brace on the other knees and stuff, so it's good to kiss my knees and appreciate them right here and now. Let your legs extend out, let your arms extend out, and just take a moment to breathe into the, just breathe in, just like you have been doing. Feel the fullness of the breath coming in, the completeness of your exhalations, and notice if one side of your body might feel different than the other. Just notice whatever it is and breathe into it, and just making mental notes of the practice of like, yeah, I felt one side a little different than the other, and this is what I felt. Then very slowly, I'll begin to drag my right heel back into toward my seat, left heel in toward the seat till I'm back with both knees bent, feet onto the floor, and we'll be doing our left side. So keep your right knee bent at first, because right now we're going to check in on the hips. So we're checking on our hips as I bring the left knee up into my chest. I just want to take that moment and I want to notice my tendencies. I know me. My hip tends to hike up so I can bring my knee in closer, but I really want to keep my hips level. How about you? What's happening with your hips? Is your foot crossing over to keep your hips level? We want to keep your heel in line with your knee in line with your own sits bones. As you breathe in and exhale out, just say hello to the muscles in the front of the left hip. Are they tight like the other side, or is there more tightness on one side than the other? Whatever it is, just breathe into it and just make little notes. Inhaling and exhaling. Then, keeping the right knee bent, the right foot has to anchor to the floor. That's going to help keep our hips stable. I'm going to reach over there and grab my strap. And again, I always try to get the buckle in one hand. Bring my left knee in, wrap the strap around the ball of the foot. Then I make sure my hips are level, stay with my level hips the best I can, and let's extend the leg up. So one side might require a lot longer strap. It's okay. When I hold it, I'm holding it with the thumb up, palm facing in, and I'm holding from the outside. And this is really good for grip strength. So developing your grip strength, see if you can use the one hand to hold it. Inhaling and exhaling. And just notice, oh, by pushing through my right foot, creating this push-pull effect with the strap, I think about really plugging in the femur bone into the socket. And I want to imagine that ball and socket, that ball is sitting tight up in the socket. And I have mobility, range, oil your tin can man, and breathe. Okay, I have an idea of where my hips are in space. Now I want to level my hips out. When I feel that they're level, I want to take the head of my arm bone in. Now I'm going to see how far I can extend my right heel out. So I lift the ball of the right foot, keeping it in line with my own right sit bone. I start to stretch the right leg out. And then something starts to give. I might need to give myself more space in my strap, extending the right leg out, wherever that is today, head of the arm bone in, and I just simply want to feel this. Breathing in and exhale out. And I make my right leg really light up. It's pushing the right thigh into the floor, pushing the right calf into the floor, spreading your toes, extending your left leg out. Everything's feeling a bit of a stretch now. Turn your left toes out and in, out and in. And imagine even the arm bone that it's in the socket and back, just oiling the tin can man. Okay, and as you do that, feel a little bit more mobile. Turn my left toes out. Keeping the left toes out, extend your right arm out, shoulder high, palm down. That's a good anchor for you. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, with the toes turned out, start to open out your arm wide as the left leg goes over to the left. So there's push, pull, push, pull, push, pull, push, pull. Oh, I feel my right hip trying to lift. Maybe this is where I am today on that side. So I really concentrate on anchoring all my foundation, feeling a stretch that I feel in the back of my left leg, and just breathing into that, trying to remain calm. At the same time, I'm dropping the left hip down and breathing into that. Maybe if I spend a few breaths here, I might be able to open up a little bit further without lifting my right buttock. I imagine my belly button going to the right and just breathe into that. But noticing the difference, noticing the stretch, and noticing if you're able to maintain your breath or is it labored. So just check in with that and breathing in and exhaling out. Now, press through your right hand and your right heel and your right hip to inhale, hoist the leg back up to the center. As you bring the leg back up to the center, bend your left knee in so that you can get the strap off. Once you get the strap off, set it to the side. Extend your left arm out, shoulder height with the palm down. Right hand goes to the outside of the left leg. Take a deep inhale with both legs active. As you exhale, keeping the left shoulder down, move with your breath. So the twisting happens on your breathing. Twisting is happening on the breathing. You're exhaling and your left knee goes over. I stop exhaling. I take another deep inhale. See if I can get more space. As I exhale, here I go over to the right. It's about where my shoulder wants to lift. Breathing there. You can use any of the props that you have to hold yourself there for a moment. So if I were wanted to use a prop, I would have some sort of block or bolster or something to stop it from going further. Gazing toward my left fingertips and breathe. If I was able to extend it out and keep my shoulder down, I have the opportunity now to do that, keeping the hips level, wherever it is that you need to be. But see if you can find this push-pull action, everything lit up, turned on, and just notice how that feels for you. Breathing in and exhaling out. Can you create length in your side body? Can you create length for the lungs to breathe? And breathe, inhaling and exhaling. Now pushing through your left hand and your right outer foot. Inhale, hoist it back up to the center. Bending your left knee, bring it in. Extend your left leg up to the sky. Taking both hands, go behind your left thigh and get your hips level. Keeping the hips level, right leg is active. Slide your hand as far down the leg as possible. Once you get there, pull on the leg, setting the femur bone in the socket. Lift your head and chest. You might be able to go up higher. As you point the toes, shoulders away from your ears. See if you can reach up there, hug your elbows in towards your knee as you lift up. Give your knee, give your toes, give your shin, wherever you are. Give it a good kiss. Inhale. And as you exhale, release your head down, your shoulders down, sliding the hands back. Bring your left knee in. Give it a nice little hug in. And again, I'm definitely kissing this one. Thanks for working today. Inhale. And as you exhale, extend your legs out. You're staying on the floor for a moment. I really would love it if you can breathe into that space and notice what you felt last time on one side of the body compared to the other. And do they feel the same now? And breathe. Notice what you're feeling. Let the breath move in easily, inhaling and exhaling. Drawing your left heel up toward your seat. Draw your right heel up toward your seat. Extend your right arm up over your head. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, allow yourself to roll over to your right side. So now my right arm's like a pillow for my head. I'm just laying on the side for a moment. You want to let the blood pressure equalize. And then when you feel ready, you'll turn toward the floor, begin to press yourself up, and then you come up and we'll take a seat. I will need a blanket. I'm going to use a blanket. And so this is the typical fold. I'm going to fold it one more time. We're in a book fold here. I'll place that onto my mat. I'll still need my strap. You may need other blankets or other props. So I'll sit up on that ledge so that I can get the pelvic tilt, the top of my pelvis angle toward the floor. So extending both legs out. If you should be feeling a nice deep stretch in the back side of your legs, but not too much.
not too much at all. Draw your left heel in towards your left sit bone. Then taking the left leg, fold the left knee over to the left side, placing the left foot into the right inner thigh. So I'm going to stand up, you stay there. But in your seat, you would be like a tree pose, sitting, hips level, both sit bones evenly anchored. And if your left knee is suspended in space by injury like I have, I would put something underneath it, pushing the foot in. Make sure your seat is even, hips are level. And then by pressing through your seat, inhaling the arms up alongside of your ears. As you exhale, twist the whole torso to the right. So I'm twisting away from my bent knee. Both sit bones are even still. Inhale, stretch and lengthen. Exhale, twist to the right a little bit more. That's about all the twists I can get now. Take a deep inhale, keeping my spine long, hinging at the hips, folding forward over my right leg. I'm imagining that my belly button is centering over the right thigh, bringing the arms out and down. When I want to round my back, I put my hands down and hold on to my right leg, and then pull back, lift the head and chest, slide the shoulders away from the ears, and then I'll continue to fold forward. Janu Shirshasana, breathing in and exhaling out. So you would want equal distance in that rib cage. Do you have one side that's kind of rainbow and one side crunched, one side long? So check in with yourself. Is your left sit bone staying down? Are you inhaling and exhaling? And can you keep your shoulders equal distance from the floor? Shoulders equal distance from the floor. Wherever you can hold on to on the leg evenly with both hands, you can do the bind, clasp, whatever. Inhale, shoulders away from your ears by pushing through my seat. Exhale and expanding the chest, coming out and down. This is head to knee pose is the actual translation. But if you want to kiss your toes, feel free to do that. You would look at your big toe, and that would be your drishti of this pose. So you would be gazing towards your big toe, but not really looking at it, but you're just breathing in and exhaling out. Keep pushing your left knee out and away. Breathing in and exhaling out. So this pose is really, really good for scoliosis. Obviously, it's stretching the back of our legs, the inner thighs. You're getting stretches everywhere in this pose. Holding onto the leg wherever you are. Hold, but lift your head and chest so you have expansion. From here, the left hand is going to slide to that lowest part outside of your right leg. I'm going to hold on to that point, still pushing the sit bone down, lift my head and chest and expanding through the head and chest. As I expand through the head and chest, the right arm goes up alongside of the ear, palm turns out, twist. I get the push-pull action with these two become a lever as I push my left knee out and away, but I stick my butt out and expand the chest and do a nice little twist here. Shoulders away from the ears. I'm gazing to my right fingertips. Inhale, and then as I exhale, I'll bring the right hand back in. Hold on to the right leg again. Inhale, lift and extend. One more time, forward fold here. And breathe. Pressing your hands into the floor, the leg, the blocks. Inhale, lift your head and chest. Exhale, coming in nice and easy. Now, we'll open this up. So this is going to be more of a wide leg. So take care of yourself however you need to, but I'm going to open the right leg out wider. So this is about 180 degree out. The left heel now is going toward the left groin. I have to reset my seat. So I'm sitting on the block, left heel in here. Both sit bones down. The ribs nice and even. This is a tricky one. Right hand in the center, left hand to the outside, pushing through both sit bones, push down. Inhale, lift and extend. Now, we are twisting our entire torso, not moving your hips, twisting towards your bent knee side. So that's twisting toward the left. I want to notice, did my right seat lift? Got to push that back down. Every inhale, get taller. Every exhale, take the twist a little bit deeper. Now, this is the tricky part. Place your left hand onto the left thigh to keep your left bottom down. Take your right hand, without looking, sliding your right arm down as far as you can inside of your right leg. I may be where my right hand can hold on to my right shin, my right knee. Push down, lift, extend, and twist to the left a little bit more with your torso. Inhaling and exhaling. Now take your right ear to the right shoulder so the neck doesn't get stiff. Take your left shoulder blade back, spin your belly and chest open to the sky, reaching your left arm out with the palm face up. Inhale, sweeping the left arm up and over alongside of the ear. Breathing into that. See if you can find your balance, your space. Breathe, inhaling and exhaling. Wherever you are, what's happening inside? Where do you feel the stretch on this side compared to the other? Breathe in and exhale out. Sit bones nice and even. Pushing through your seat. Inhale, left arm comes up. Exhale, left hand comes down to the floor. Bring your chin to the chest and then draw a little smiley face with your chin to the right shoulder. Inhale, exhale, chin back center. Inhale, chin to the left shoulder and back to the center. One more time. Right shoulder, center, left shoulder, center. Maybe a nice little circle in one direction, circle in the other. You roll your shoulders up and back, lean back. Extend my left leg out, wow, right leg out. And then when I have to reset my seat, when I come off of the blanket, you can see my pelvis. I need to make some space in the spine. Sitting on the lift, extending the legs out. Now, other side, right heel draws in toward the seat. Right knee folds out to the side. The sole of your right foot to the left inner thigh. Those two pressing against one another. Press down through everything that you have. Inhale, create length. As you exhale, keeping your seat anchored, twist to the left. Every inhale, get taller. Every exhale, twisting to the left. And you can't twist anymore. You can take your right hand and slide it down the left leg. So we're approaching it a little bit different this time. Every inhale, exhale, folding over your left thigh. Sweep your left arm out and hold your left leg wherever you can. Meet it with your right hand and then get your shoulders equal distance from the floor. Pushing your right knee out and away. Take a deep inhale. Slide the shoulders away from your ears, keeping a broad and open chest. As you exhale, hinge and fold forward. In my mind's eye, my belly button is centered over the left thigh. So allow yourself to feel this forward fold, Janu Shasana, head to knee pose, and breathing into that. Inhaling and exhaling. Start to notice if one side of your sit bone is trying to lift, keep pushing your right knee out and away, anchoring through the seat, stick your bottom out, broaden through your chest as you fold forward and inhaling and exhaling. You bind it, inhale and exhale, shoulders away from your ears, just finding a breath. Inhale, lifting your head and chest. Exhale. Take your right hand to the outside of the left leg, the furthest point. Bring your shoulders back so you get tension on the arm, pushing your right knee out of the way, sit bone staying down. As you push down through your seat, broaden through the chest, expanding through your chest, then the left hand sweeps out and open the whole time, sticking my bottom out. Those of you who know the block, the pes dispenser, doing the pes dispenser, pushing the right knee out and away. At the same time, opening up the heart, opening up the chest, gazing out over your left shoulder, looking at your left fingertips. Breathe. Where do you feel this? Take a deep inhale, pressing through your seat. Left arm comes back up alongside of the air. Exhale, left hand comes down to the left leg. Right hand meets it. Then get your shoulders equal distance. Stick your bottom out. Inhale, exhale, forward fold. And breathe. Holding on to the leg. Inhale, lifting the head and chest with a broad chest. Exhale, coming in nice and easy. And so this is the wide leg variation. So then taking the left leg, opening up that out wide to where I can draw the right heel into the right side of the groin. I call it the karate chop foot. So the toes turn down, inner thighs back and apart. Both sit bones are down. Remember the tricky pose, left hand in the center, right hand to the outside. Active left leg, both sit bones are even. Press down to inhale, create length. As you exhale, begin twisting your torso to the right.
So low belly first, midsection, upper chest, returning toward the bent knee side without lifting the left sit bones. Every inhale, get taller. Every exhale, take the twist deeper and breathing into that. Now, keeping this twist, it's a really tricky one. So I'm going to place my right hand onto the right thigh to really anchor my seat down. That allows me to lift my left hand up off the floor without losing height in my spine. Taking the left arm, sliding it inside of your left leg, out and down, out and down. The furthest point would be right here. Push down, inhale, and as you exhale, twisting open to your right. Wherever you can be here, keep both sit bones down. Take your left ear and let your left ear touch the left shoulder the best that it can so it takes the tension off of your neck. The whole time you turn to roll your right shoulder and chest open, feeling grounded. Let yourself really push out through the right knee, reaching the right arm out with the palm face up. Inhale, sweeping the right arm up alongside of the ear. So you don't want to see your arm. It's back behind your ear. Reach and stretch. You just notice the difference. I know there's quite a bit of difference in one side compared to the other for myself. Where are you today? Can you breathe? Inhaling and exhaling. Keep spinning the belly and chest open. Suck some air in one way or the other. Breathe it in, exhale it out. Pushing down through everything that you have. Inhaling, right arm comes up. Exhale, the right hand comes down to the floor. Rest your neck, chin to the chest, drawing smiley face. Chin draws on your chest to the right shoulder, and then exhales back to the center. Chin draws up to your left shoulder, and exhale back to the center. One more time. Right shoulder, center, left shoulder, center. Nice little circle. One direction, and then do it in the other. And then rolling your shoulders up and back, lean back, bring the legs back out to the front. And then a seated forward fold here. So with both legs extended out, placing your hands onto your thighs, feel yourself sitting down evenly, and then we're going to lift your rib cage away from your hips. Stick your bottom out. Lift your rib cage away from your hips. Stick your bottom out. So keeping the chest open and broad, keeping that action. Don't let your chest close down. Just let your chest open, breath easy, sliding your hands down evenly. Where can you go without closing down? Allow yourself to be open, breathing into that. And then wherever that is for you today, drop your chin and just breathe in and exhale out. Liven up the legs, push the calves down, push the thighs down. Think about the Pez dispenser, the inner thighs rolling back and apart, anchored through the tailbone, expand through your chest, folding forward, breathing, wherever that may be. So this is a nice spine neutralizer, but it's an intense stretch for the back of the legs. Inhaling, lifting your head and chest. Exhaling, coming up nice and easy. Then bend right knee, bringing the foot in, left knee, the foot in. So the pose that we do sometimes is called Baddha Konasana. This is a variation of that. So I'm going to bring the soles of my feet together, but instead of in Baddha Konasana where I draw the heels right up to the groin and sit up tall, I'm going to ask you to extend your legs out so that you almost make like a diamond shape. Then taking your prayer hands, extend your arms out, and then I want my toes to be underneath my fingertips. So I might go further. So this is more of a holding for a few moments. Inhale, and as you exhale, hinging from your hips, slide your hands down your legs to maybe even holding your feet or ankles. Taking a deep inhale, and then start tilting. The hinges in the hips, broad chest, folding forward. And then when that's about done, then think about resting your forehead in the arches of your own feet. It's fine. If you can touch down and kiss them, that's wonderful. But I'm just going to bow my head and I'm going to imagine that my forehead is resting in the arches of the feet, but without forcing. So it's a fold and then a relax. A fold and relax. As I fold and relax, I just let my shoulders drape down, the forehead drape down, the space behind my forehead soft, And it's just simply me and breathing. Inhaling and exhaling. I know on every inhale, I can create space. With every exhale, I can release some sort of gripping that doesn't need to be there anymore. Imagine yourself rounding your back a lot. I'm coming out and you stay there. So let yourself fold in there, the space behind your forehead soft. And as you stay there for a moment, if your low back is starting to hurt, draw your navel into the spine. And then it's going to give you a whole new rounding in the shoulders and relaxing in the shoulders, draping over. And just breathe. So this is a pose of surrendering, just surrendering into the pose. Wherever you are is perfectly fine. Breathe it in and exhale out. Just a few more breaths. After your next exhalation, inhale, lifting your head and chest. As you exhale, gently roll your shoulders back in line with your hips, bringing your knees back in together. Then this is where we need that big pillow or bolster. I'll take my blanket out, removing basically everything off the mat so I have a place to lay down. My mat is longwise like this. Taking the bolster, my knees are bent. The right ankle is resting in the arch of the left foot. So both knees are bent to the left. My left hip is against the bolster. And just breathe. When you're ready, taking your left hand, left arm, allow yourself to lay your left ribs on the bolster, getting over. Maybe the shoulder can come down, arm out, left ear to the left shoulder, let the head and neck rest. If you find yourself like dangling in space, this is where you bring in your props or pillows so that your head, your neck is not stressed out, and allow yourself to lay on your left side ribs and just breathe. Feel the compression on the left side of the rib cage. I imagine like a rainbow where my right ribs are the arch of the rainbow up, and just breathing into that. Bring all of your awareness into the right ribs. And imagine that the lower ribs are expanding as you inhale, the middle, and even in the chest. And as you exhale, only through the right side, chest, ribs, and then the lowest part of the ribs, even the back ribs, exhale it out. And you can stay there, or you can reach your right arm out with the palm facing up, and sweeping your right arm up alongside of your right ear. It may be possible to rest palm to palm, and may not. If this is too much, just take a moment and reach out through your fingertips and feel the whole right side body stretch. Then if it's too much and it's not actually touching down into each other easily, draw your right hand back and let it rest on the bolster and just be on your side. Here's another option. You can extend both legs out, left hip down, stack your right hip on top, and just breathe, inhaling and exhaling. It's just a side body stretch. But imagine that we're taking time to right now fill every space of your right lung. Bending the knees takes out any of the balance work. Just allow yourself to breathe in, feel the rib cage expanding, the ribs separate with every inhale. And as you exhale, feel yourself releasing into all the support that is beneath you. Inhaling and exhaling. Keep rolling your right shoulder open. Make sure that you're not facing forward. Just a few more breaths here. So a little bit longer hold. You're staying down. I'm not. So stay there. Breathe into it. All your awareness is in the breathing. The breathing, the expansion of the lung. And just imagine bringing health into the spaces of your lungs, opening up every possible airway. Every inhale, when you exhale, imagine clearing out all the old stagnant stuff and just allowing the new breath to come in, fill the spaces, and melting into all the support beneath you. After your next exhale, we'll begin to, if your arms up over your head,
Bring it back in, placing your right hand onto the bolster, bending your knees first. Then by pushing your right hand into the bolster, sliding your left arm back, allow yourself to come up onto your left hip and just breathe. Inhaling and exhaling here. When you feel ready, we're just going to shift over to the right hip. So I have to do a bunch of moving so you can see on the camera, but you should be able to just kind of flip over. Doesn't matter what direction you're facing. When I sit down against the long side of the bolster, my right hip is there, my right knee is there, allowing the ankle of my left ankle to rest in the arch of my right foot. This is the starting point. Left shoulder back. We want to be side body. So then I take my right arm out and I guide myself to get down, up and over, imagining a rainbow. And then when I get my right shoulder down, I would turn the right palm face up, side head of the arm bone in, right ear to the right shoulder. This side's much more flexible for me. I can feel that. I know that. I don't make meaning of that. Then when you're ready, left arm reaches out, palm face up, and just ever so gently gliding the fingertips up to the sky all the way. See what's here for you. Is it the same? Can you easily touch palm to palm? Like, where is that? Just take a moment here as you push through your right hip, reach out through your right fingertips and feel the entire stretch of the left side of your entire rib cage. The front of your ribs, the sides of your ribs, the back of your ribs. Get the stretch and breathe. If it's too much for the stretch, bring your left hand back down to the bolster with the elbow up, and that helps me keep shoulders away from my ears. Right ear is definitely resting on the prop or the arm. If it's available and I wanted to play around, I would go legs out or get more or just see how it goes. Legs out. So now I'm on my right hip's touching down, my right shoulder's touching down over a bolster. The left ribs, my goal is to get the left ribs to really reach up and arch up. Breathing into that, inhaling and exhaling. Just notice what you feel. Allow yourself to explore. Maybe close your eyes and feel the breath. Wherever you need to be, allow yourself to be there. I'm moving out of this pose. You're staying there and breathing in, and your entire focus is focusing in on breathing in, expanding the rib cage, expanding the lungs, breathing out, empty, get rid of toxins, waste, anything, just let it go. Imagine how powerful your breath is as you bring the breath in and exhale it out. This is so healthy for your bodies. Able to take the deep breaths in. It keeps us from developing any kind of issues if we get a cold or a flu. So expand every section you can and let your right ribs really rest in the support that is beneath you. Breathing in and exhaling out. Allow yourself to be here now. Just feel the breath moving in. Allow yourself to wash it all away with your exhalations. Feel yourself supported with the bolster or the pillow. And the more that you can really release into your support, the more expansion you can get on the left ribs. Just thinking about being healthy, filling the lungs, exhaling, and removing the waste. After a few more breaths, just being here now, fullness in your breath and exhaling it out. We'll slowly start to return back. So if your left arm is up, you'll inhale it up to the sky, bring the left palm to the bolster, elbow up. If your legs were straight, you want to bend your knees first. Then when you're ready, push down through your left hand, sliding the right arm back to support you. Allow yourself to come up onto your right hip and just simply sit, breathe in, and exhale out. Breathing in and exhaling out. Turning the bolster longwise. This bolster is really high for me, so I do better with the block in front of the bolster. Then I would sit on the block.
so I don't have such a deep arch in my low back. Keeping my knees bent, feet onto the floor. With my hands, walking myself out and down. I just want to take a moment to where I can lay back. I press to my feet, lift my hips, extend the tailbone toward my feet, reset the seat. Now you can stay here, turn your palms up, wrap your shoulder blades and hug your shoulder blades into the bolster and allow your chest to just be open. Let yourself breathe. You could do a Baddha Konasana where the soles of the feet are together, knees open wide, but remember the knees might get some pressure on them, and this is not advised for holding for a while. So listen to your bodies, be where you need to be. It could also be feet onto the floor, extending your legs out and just getting a nice stretch in the front body. Wherever that is for you, allow yourself to breathe in and exhale out. Feel your shoulder blades wrapping around onto the bolster, your heart lifting and full. The breath is moving easily in. All the nutrients flowing through the body. Every exhale is a little bit longer than your inhales. In fact, try to make it twice as long so you feel this emptying. Allow your back body to rest deeply and feel all the places your back body connects into, the bolster, the floor, the block. And the more that you allow the back body to rest into something, feel that front body opening and expanding because it's supporting. Let your eyes be soft, let your breath be easy, and allow yourself to remain here for a moment. We won't be here that long. Just breathe in, make every breath count as you inhale. Be aware of the exhalation. Allow yourself to exhale all of that out. Just a few more breaths and just feeling the vitality in the body when you inhale, the cleansing as you exhale. Have your shoulders been able to soften this practice? Has your jaw been able to relax? We are not in Shavasana. We're about to start to move into our final resting pose. So if you're laying there and you have your legs extended out, you want to bend your knees first. If your knees are out wide, you want to help yourself bring the knees in so that the feet are onto the floor. Then remember, you're up on something kind of high. So then right arm goes out. I use my left hand to catch it, so it's not a far fall if you do fall, but rolling to your right, scooch everything out and away from you. Lay on your back and take a moment to hug your knees into your chest. So just laying on your back, hugging your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug in, breathing in and exhaling out. Thinking about how you want to do your Shavasana today, what would you need to place that under you? So I've maybe put a bolster underneath my legs, let the feet fall out to the sides, laying back. Just let yourself rest, opening arms and legs, palms up, and breathe. Inhaling and exhaling. As you inhale and you exhale, feeling yourself melting deeper into all the support that is beneath you. We'll be moving into, it's called a meditation, loving kindness meditation. This practice helps cultivate compassion for yourselves and others while we integrate the insights from our emotional wellness through yoga educational series. Whatever you picked up today, you don't have to memorize anything. You don't have to know anything. Just let it just sit in with you, settling in without making meaning out of it. Through awareness and mindfulness and connection, we will deepen the emotional wellness tools we've explored. So allow yourself to lay back, relax, and let go. As you get more comfortable in your position, allow your mind to settle. You gently close your eyes and take a deep breath in through the nose.
Hold it for a moment and then slowly exhale. Repeat these 2 more times. Inhaling fully, slowly exhaling. Inhaling fully, exhaling. Begin to bring your awareness inward and focus on your heart center. Place one or both hands on your heart if that feels comfortable to you. Say to yourself silently or softly, may I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be safe. May I live with ease. As you repeat these phrases, imagine a warm, golden light radiating from your heart. This light is filled with love, compassion, and healing energy. Allow this light to flow through your body, filling you with a sense of well-being and wholeness. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be safe. May I live with ease. If any resistance or self-judgment arises, simply notice it. And with each breath, soften and remind yourself that you are worthy of love and kindness. Now bring your mind to someone you care about deeply. Visualize their face and feel their presence. Repeat the following phrases, sending the same warm golden light to them. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you live with ease. As you send this loving kindness to them, notice how it feels to give compassion. Trust that this light carries your intentions, offering comfort and support wherever it is needed. Now gradually expand your awareness to include your community, the people in your yoga practice, and all beings across the world. Imagine the golden light radiating outward, growing brighter and more expansive with each breath. Repeat silently. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be safe. And may all beings live with ease. Feel the interconnectedness between yourself and all living beings, as though this light connects us in a web of compassion and understanding. As the meditation draws to a close, bring your focus back down to your own heart center. Visualize the golden light settling within you, a steady and calm glow that you can carry with you. Take a moment to reflect the tools that you've learned in the series: mindful breathing, emotional awareness, intuition, nervous system regulation, and trust that these practices are always available to you, guiding you toward greater emotional wellness. Allow yourself to settle back and be still for a few moments. I'll be silent and allow yourself to get wherever You have to bring your conscious breath back into the body. Be aware of every inhalation, be aware of every exhalation. Allow every inhalation to bring back energy, every exhalation to continue letting go, removing what needs to go. Send it out through the exhalations. As you continue to bring conscious breath back into your body, be aware of the physical body. Awareness in the toes, awareness in the fingers, a little movement in the toes, a little movement in the fingers. It may feel good to take a deep body stretch, stretching the arms way up over your head, stretching out through your legs, taking a deep body stretch as you return back into the present moment. Stretch your right side a little more than the left side a little more than the right, stretching it out nice and even. Very slowly begin to bend your knees, bringing your feet to the floor. And allow yourself to roll over to your right sides and just stay there for a moment. Just be there. No rush. Jump up. Just be there. Breathe. Feel the breath. Moving when you're ready, and only when you're ready, you'll gently turn toward the floor. Use your left hand, right arm. Slowly begin to press yourself up into a seated position. As you take your seat, have your eyes closed or just remaining in that space. Allow yourself to feel your seat grounded, extension through the spine, all the space that you've created through the practice today. Bringing all awareness into the inhales and the exhalations. We'll conclude the physical practice with the final Om. Drawing the hands into the heart center, take a deep inhale to begin. Ooh. Bowing your head to your heart center, just a moment of gratitude. All the blessings in our lives, acknowledging all the beauty within your own heart, all the golden light that stays within your own heart. We bow to each other's light with Namaste. Just allow yourself to sit for a moment, eyes closed. But as we went through this workshop, we are looking to the outside for internal. We're always, over the last 500 years or so, we've searched for external solutions for internal happiness. So as we become aware of how we are looking on the outside, maybe we can slowly start to teach ourselves to draw back in and finding the peace within so that it's not so shakeable. And part of this process, it's an ongoing process. It's never done. But if you can flip the script and just learn to love the process, learn to appreciate the steps that are taken. Just as you're going through it, nothing has to be perfect. And then at some point, if you can fall in love with the journey of what this life is, the entire journey of it. I know it's not always easy to do, but in my own practice, I've been trying to flip the script a little bit. Just as things happen, I try to see what benefit, and it's not always that case. But anyway, it's just working with how the perception is. There's a couple of good books that I'll recommend. So as you're ready, maybe you want to write something down. There is a book called Do Nothing by Celeste Headley. It's a fun book. And then another book is Dr. Alex Lickerman, The Undefeated Mind. It's the science of constructing the indestructible self. So those might be of some interest to you. Check it out and check the titles out. But I'm just hoping that at some, that you'll find these little tools within all of these practices, and it might add up to something big, in your life. But just take what you need, leave the rest behind. And then I will stop the recording, and then I'll take any questions and answers. So let me start this.